So I can unmute you, Ganapati Ramanji. You want to chant after me? Okay. I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute. Yes. Okay, we'll start with the new one. Atha chainam nitya jatam.
Atha chainam nitya jatam.
Twice,
Atha
please.
chainam nitya jatam.
Nityam va manyase mritam.
Nityam va manyase mritam. Nityam va manyase mritam.
Tathapi tvam mahabaho.
Tadapi tvam mahabaho. Tadapi tvam mahabaho.
Naivam shochitumarhasi.
Naivam shochitumarhasi. Naivam shochitumarhasi.
Okay. So we are now getting a bit more into, yeah, you can mute and, oh, it's okay. It's okay. So we are now getting from this 26 to 30 today, the 5 shlokas we will see. And we have so far seen the Atma Tattvam as been taught to Arjuna by Lord Sri Krishna, and also he had given lot of logic in the Tattvopatesham and is Shoka Nivaranam in the context of Paramarthika Drishti, or the absolute context which we said before, right? Yeah. So now slowly Bhagavan is coming, and after he has finished in the last few shlokas as well, you know, that Atma, Avyaktaha, Avikaryaha, Achintyaha, Akledyaha, Asosyaha, that is Avyaktaha. Atma is unmanifested. Achintyaha, it cannot be thought by mere thoughts in the mind. Avikaryaha, that which does not goes into different transformation of states. Then we said Achedyaha. Achedya means it is never can be destroyed by any astram, brahmastram, or the most powerful weapon, anything that is available. And Adakya, it cannot be burned. So basically by all the panchabhutas, that it cannot be impacted. And it is also Ajaha, it is not born. And it is a sarva gataha, that it pervades the whole universe wherever it is, omnipresent, omniscient, all of them in English words that we say. And sthanuhu, that which is the one ever permanent, the pillar, like sthanuhu. And sanatanaha, ever eternal. And he said nityaha. Now from there, now what he is trying to give is atha chainam. That first two word atha cha is now an hypothetical condition that Krishna is now asking Arjuna. Atha cha, then that 1 and 2 word atha cha has to be taken together. Atha means normally we say it is from here onwards. Cha means and, literally. But from here onwards, and it is not to be taken like that. What he's saying, supposing let us take the other side of your thing of the Atma Lakshanam that I have imparted to you so far, with all the Lakshanam we have been saying. Right? That if you may have to take that Atma is, see, this is the beautiful thing of logic. Krishna will see in Gita both this side of the logic and the other side of the logic, and from wherever you analyze, the standpoint will be correct. So the Atacha is to be taken as if now, even if you suppose Arjuna, this Atma is number 3, that is here, Tvam, you. Atacha Tvam. Even if you want to take it from your side, that is from an opponent side, meaning to say, if you want to put your logic into this, Tvam, Katam Yenam. So Chainam is Cha Yenam. Yenam means what? This I am Atma. This I am Atma. This Atman. This Atma, for all the Lakshanam there I told you, in the Atma way, this Atman, Nitya Jatam. Nitya Jatam means what? That it is, anyway we said Atma is Ajaha, right? But he is trying to give you a hypothetical assumption. If you think that Atman is Nitya Jatam, meaning to say ever being born, that it is born, that it is subjected to many births. That it is being born. It is not that it is ever not born. You want to take it as if it is a Nitya, means here you should not take it as eternally born. Nitya, that's why it is a complex compound word. That's why he did not say Yanam Anityam. Nitya Jatam. Very careful. So he said it's a compound word, meaning to say that it is being as if it is subjected to repeated births, which is correct, but in the context of Vyavaharika Drishti. But that we know, Arjuna does not know. So we have to place ourselves in the Arjuna's shoes. So in Arjuna's context, if you ever think Arjuna, that yes, this Atma is ever being born. So he's trying to tell him, yes, because we are all thinking that I am just born once, because we do not know whether what we were born before. Okay. Nitya Jatam Va or, okay, number 7, Nityam Mritam, 7 and 8 together. Nityam Mritam means, so if so, you see why we can't take it as eternally born, because if it is eternally born, it cannot have an eternal death. So here Nityam Mritam means, what he's saying is that it is again subjected to repeated death. Nityam Mritam. Manyase, that if you think as though, that if you think, put this assumption as if this is also repeated to repeated birth and death, which is what we all think. Then what Krishna says, Tatapi.
Even then.
Sorry?
Okay.
Even then, even if you suppose it in that context, Tatapi, hey Mahabaho, hey Arjuna, number 12, Evam, Naivam means na Evam. Evam, number 12, that is what Evam what? Evam what means like this word, Shochitum. That for you to grieve over, that for you to ponder over, that for you to completely immersed over this, of this particular Atman in this context of being repeatedly born and death. Na, number 14 and 15, na arhasi, na arhasi. Arhasi means qualified. That this supposition is not qualified for you to be grieved over. Okay, now this is the beautiful thing of Gita Shastram, that it imposes the condition, and for you still to say that the teaching or the it's not a commandment, but it is the principle by which one has to act, applicable in all this. That is why Gita supposedly applies for beyond any religion. Beyond any religion. So he says, Bhagavan says very clearly, says, why he should not be grieving over. Okay, yes, you said that we don't have to grieve over, but why? Because Krishna says, this is anyway, he is coming to he's slowly drawing Arjuna into the context of whatever this Prakriti nature is. Okay, so that is what he is coming to even say, and that he will explain more in the next verse. Why we should not be grieving over it. Now, number 27 will be, just make a note of it if you want to put it. Okay, first we'll chant and then we'll go. Sundar, do you want to chant after me in this one? I will unmute you. There is Sundar. Sundar, you want to chant? You have to unmute. Sundar? Okay. Jatas. No. I have one chant after me twice. Okay. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh.
Jadasya hi dhruve Dhruvo Mrityuhu.
Twice. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu.
Jadasya hi Dhruvo
Dhruvo.
Mrityuhu.
Dhruvam janma mritasya cha.
Dhruvam Janma Mridasya cha. Dhruvam Janma Mridasya cha.
Okay, that's why I put the very clearly pause for chanting. Okay, very important. See, you have to say Dhruvam janma. Give a small pause. Mritasya cha.
Okay. Dhruvam Janma Mridasya cha.
Okay, why we should not? Why now? I'll tell you why we should not. Okay, this is a chanting mistake. Many people mistake, and how it becomes anartham. Anartham means it becomes a wrong. If we say, for example, Dhruvam janma mritasya cha, then what happens? That mrita becomes amritam. Because janma, that ma and mru, if you don't pause, they become together. Dhruvam janma mritasya. See, ma mrita. Ma mrita, when you elongate that with even one matra, it becomes amritasya cha. But
The
here
meaning gets changed.
but here what it says is mritaha only. That's number 5th word is mritaha. So to get that word, to get that kind of this is what is called meaningful chanting. So you have to say dhruvam janma mritasya cha.
Dhruvam Janma Mridasya cha.
Tasmad parihar yerte.
Tasmad Parihar
yerte.
Tasmad Parihar Yete.
Very good. Once more.
Tasmad Parihar Yate.
Very good. You're getting there. Natvam shochitum arhasi.
Natvam Shochitu Mahasihe.
Natvam shochitum arhasi.
Natvam Shochitu Marhatsi.
Very good. Very good. Natvam shochit. Okay. So what here Bhagavan say? He. Here he means because. Why? So he is giving the conditions for having that assumption in the previous verse 26. Why one should not grieve, even in the case of assumption of that, if you think that this is only one birth or that in this, because that's what most of the other and what Krishna is really getting to is this particular one when we saw in the way fundamentals. You remember this one? Come on. This one. Yeah. Where we said this is only a repeated birth, repeated cycle, then you come, and we said this is kind of the, though we say, for example, we got a repeated birth and repeated death. The other religions say, no, this is only one birth, that you are born once and you die once. Even from that perspective, Krishna says you should not be worried. That is why this becomes applicable to irrespective of it's a Sanatana Dharma or other Dharma. Because we had this particular drishti before. Okay, so coming back to the verse. So what Krishna here really is saying is he means here because Arjuna, jatasya, for anyone, for that which is born, jatasya, for anything, right from the smallest worm or the smallest living being to the Brahmaji, Chaturmukha Brahmaji, jatasya, mrityuhu. Mrityuhu means that death. Mrityuhu. Dhruvaha. Number 4. Dhruvaha is certain. It is certain. And also, number 5. Mritasya. That which has passed away. That which has passed away or is gone by time. Mritasya cha. And number 7, Janma, that is a birth, is Dhruvam. A Janma, a birth is for sure it is going to happen. Dhruvam. Tasmat, therefore Arjuna, Tasmat, is that apariharye arte. Okay, that is, it is not pariharyate. Tasmat apariharyate. Now, this word is a very little bit important that you must understand. Now, what normally we say, pariharam, for something happened, there is a pariharam. We think it is kind of a remedial measure, okay, or a protective measure. Because what's going to happen? And this is very common in all of them, right? Repentance, or we go, and there are so many things that are prescribed, and that without knowingly, unknowingly, something is going. We are, because every action has that is being sowed, will has to give some fruit. That it cannot. Once a bow is shot from the once a arrow is shot from the bow, it has to go and hit some target. Similarly, the actions will have to have a target for which there is some reaction. So what we do some parihara, means we say protective measure, so that at least I get some protection. Okay, now here apariharye arthe means that which has got no protective measures at all. For what? For death and birth. Tasmad apariharya arte. For that as your goal, that which is devoid of any protective measures for birth and death. But you have pariharam for shoka mokam. That's very important. That's what Krishna says. That's for Arjuna. Tvam, number 11. Shochitum, to grieve over, not arhasi. It is not qualified. Not that you are qualified. The grief is not qualified. Very important to understand. He's not saying pariharam is not qualified, or you are not qualified. He's saying that shochitum, of which that shochitum, that grief is not qualified. Isn't this what we say in our normal common sense, that something like that, right? But Krishna is saying not from that particular one. He is saying from a practical responsibility. Shokan, this is where these shlokas are so important. That's why people chant these things when someone passes away, to say, look, this is practically the futility of the nature that we are all subjected to, if you subject yourself in the individual context as well. And by that grief, you neither, because all our grief is over this only, that how I wish that I would not have lost this person or this object, or how I would have, if I would have got this object, that I want. How I wish this was born, or how I wish this was not dead. That is the only thing the grief is over. So that's where Krishna is equating to that particular inevitable nature of the reality, even if you take it in the Vyavaharika Drishti, that this particular grief is not qualified. But what is qualified is your actions and your duties. And the grief is never going to recover anything out of this. Grief is not the pariharam. That's all he's saying, basically. And Bhagavataha Vachanam, that it is all, it is 100% Shoka Nivarana. So that is why these shlokas are often chanted in those times. But it is to be chanted at any time. Okay. Now, once he has given the shloka number 27 from an individual context, now he is giving it from a, that is what we normally say technically, Vyashti Drishti. If you want to write Vyashti Drishti. Vyashti means, just write it in a notepad. Vyashti, we say Vyashti. Vyashti Drishti. Vyashti means an individual context. And the next one will be Samashti Drishti, from a context of the whole world. So Vyashti Drishti means it's a microcosm. The Samashti Drishti means in a macrocosmic aspect. That's all. So that's what he is trying to say here. Which one? The shloka number 27 is Vyashti Drishti, and the shloka number 28 will be on a, oh God, what did I do? This has gone there. Okay. So then shloka number 8 will be in Samashti Drishti. Okay. So let's chant this one and see more into that one. And basically what Krishna is also saying here is, look at the cause and effects. Okay, and so do all the material effects which is also surrounding you. So he goes on to say, Avyaktadini bhutani. Sundar, you are going to chant or? Sundar, you gone?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
chant after me. Yeah. Avyaktadini bhutani.
Avyaktadini bhutani.
Once more, twice.
Avyaktadini bhutani.
Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
Vyaktamaktyani
No,
bharata.
the da, no, no, da,
Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
the da, I need to come from your inner thing. Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
Very good.
Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
Avyakta nidhanan eva.
Avyakta nidhanadev nandeva.
One second, I'll just make it a bit natural. Tatra ka paridevana.
Tatra ka paridevana. Tatra ka paridevana.
Okay, so here Bhagavan says, hey Bharata, look at this, even ones that is around you, even if you go from a Jata and Mrita from an individual context, look at it from the ones that you are part of this whole world, of which nothing can be separated. Hey Bhutani, hey Bharata, this Bhutani, here Bhutani pertains to all our relatives, or the ones that we are born with, or the ones that born from us. So here Arjuna, in Arjuna's context, all the Bhishma, Dronacharya, and all of them, and anything. So all these ones that we call as so far as our relative or relations, whatever it is, or even not related, Bhutani, Avyakta means Avyakta Adini. Avyakta means unmanifest. Here unmanifest means you cannot take it as Atman. Because Atman is also Avyaktam. But here Avyaktam, there Avyakta Adini means that really you have not seen them. It is not because because we have not seen our father or our mother before our birth, or you understand what I mean. So Avyakta Adini, or say our own children, we have not seen them before. So all that is born in this one before the birth, we have not seen from where they have come. That's what he's saying. It's origin. From where? So they have come from something that which is not perceived by you. All these ones, unseen. And this Avyakta here has to be taken as the Maya Prakriti. That's very important. This Maya Prakriti is where all these are born. Okay. Adi is from there. And what is happening then? Number 4, Avyakta Nidhanani Eva. That 4, 5, 6 is Avyakta Nidhanani Eva. 3 words. So Nidhanam means what? The end. Meaning to say, so the end is also into the Avyaktam. That it has gone back into this Maya Prakriti. Eva, certainly. And what is now you are now perceiving is the 7, 8, Vyakta Madhyani. The only that you are really perceiving is what it is you can perceive by the 5 sense organs. Everything, our relative, our own people, or even this, anything. Vyakta Madhyani, Eva. So, Tatra, in this context, Ka Paridevana. What is the kind of lamentation? The Paridevana is kind of a lamentation. Pari means, always, over this, over and over and over, and that's Pari. Devana here means that lamentation. That chintam, shochitam. Ka Paridevana. What Krishna is really also trying to say here, this is from the apart from outside of you, because what Krishna is really saying that is, say for example, I'll give you a very small example for you to understand this one. Say for example, we say today, there is a person like Shaslav Kamosky is born in Siberia. You're going to say Shaslav Kamosky born in Siberia. Fair enough. Somebody is born. Doesn't matter. It is not going to concern you. Okay, and then we say there is one Alex Spencer who is died in Argentina or somewhere. Doesn't matter ever. There are so many Alexes. Every day there are 20 Alexes dying, Babu. It's the most common name. So what does it matter? I don't know him either. So you see, the ones that we do not know by name and form, whatever it is, whether it is born or whether it is died, we have no hang-ups. We have got nothing. So that means what's happening is the knowledge of something that I know close to me brings the loss and addition. If I don't know, I do not know that there is a loss or there is a gain. So is this knowledge the problem then? Because that is where this whole thing comes to about. So better if I don't know all these things, will it go away? No. What Krishna is trying to say is this attachment is as illusional as you think, as if because you know them, because with that your knowledge is not just knowing them as an object, but the knowledge in this one comes as something that this is mine, or that something that is, or when I was born, I belong to someone. That sense of belonging, that which comes from the knowledge of the people, the objects that you know, becomes the problem, not the knowledge by itself. That's what Krishna is coming to in this particular one. Arjuna, only the problem is when you put yourself into that unnecessary connection. That is what we call as a virtual attachment. That is what Bhagavan is trying to remove. Not that he's saying when your near and dear goes that we cannot grieve. Very important. So the inner meaning in these verses is Krishna's teaching is to say that, look, your knowledge is not a problem, but that virtual belonging to them, as if these ones can never be gone, as if these ones are ever born to you, that is the problem. And Krishna, by this getting Arjuna into this, he's trying to expand the scope of vision slowly, you see, from the relative context as well. That he says, expand is this Madhya, this Madhyani Bharata, this only you are so much word in the one in the middle, that expanded Krishna, Arjuna, that before and after, and then you would find in this whole microcosmic one, that there is nothing like that is yours or your them, or that there is nothing that can be grieved over, and they are really uncalled for. That's what Krishna is telling. Not that to say that when our close ones are passed or born, that we cannot rejoice or this one. But the paridevana is the only problem, lamentation. That is the only thing. And that is because of the attachment. And that is because of the virtual connection that we impose upon ourselves. Okay. Now, next one.
So paridevana means
Pari normally means itself means around. Devana here actually means that lamentation.
okay.
That is what it is. Don't take it as some deva and all those things. No. Here devana, here paridevana means around that completely lamenting over. That's all what it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one. I've done something. Oh, what did I do? Okay, you want to continue, Sundar? Ascharyavat pashyati.
Ascharyavat pashyati
Kaschidenam.
kaschidenam.
Twice.
Kaschidenam.
Okay, let's take it together. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam.
Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam.
Okay, sorry.
Ascharyavat Ascharyavat pashyati kaschitenam.
Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah.
Ascharyavat vachainmam manya.
No, 1 second. Ascharyavat vadati.
Ascharyavat
No. Ascharyavat vadati.
vadati.
Ascharyavat vadati
Ascharyavat vadati.
tathaiva chanyah.
Tataiva chanyaha. I looked into the next line actually.
Okay, no problem. Okay, we'll take it once more, the second line together. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah.
Ascharya vadati tataiva chanyaha. Ascharya vadati tataiva chanyaha.
Chanyah. Very good, very good. Next one.
Chanyaha.
Okay, third line. Ascharyavat chaina manya shrunoti.
Ascharya
Okay,
chainya
we'll
manya sunoti.
very good, very good. Try again.
Ascharya chainya manya sunoti.
We'll split it once again. Ascharyavat.
Ascharya
China. Ascharyavat China manya shrunoti.
Ascharya China manya shrunoti. Ascharya China manya shrunoti.
Very good. Shrutvaapyenam.
Shrudvatpenam.
Vedana chaiva kaschit.
Vedana chaiva kaschite. Vedana chaiva kaschite.
Very good. So here again, now Krishna is saying, look, now he understood. Krishna is able to, as you know, sees his disciples' state at this time. So Arjuna is kind of in a perplexed state. Yes, I can see this. There is all these things from the Vyavaharika Drishti as well, because it is, and he's a bit kind of, yes, he has expanded his vision into the macrocosmic thing, and he's simply in an awe. He's not able to speak, and Krishna says, it's fair enough. That's what it is. You seem like you are now in a kind of an awe, amazed about all this one that I'm revealing to you, and that's fair enough. We should not, don't think it as if you have not understood. That's what he's saying. So what he's saying, Arjuna, I can see you're in total perplexed about this, but kaschite, that some people, okay, someone, kaschite, yenam means this of this Atman, the knowledge, this Atman, ascharyavat pashyati. They look at it like in a great wonder. Pashyati, they see. Literally, they see as if they are totally mystified, that they are totally in awe. They're just taking like a big wonder that has happened. Okay, not able to grasp it, what it is really. Like, when you have not been to, say, for example, like the Mount Kailash, or say somewhere that's it's beautiful in nature. Okay, you can imagine, like if you're not been to, say, Alaska or somewhere, and the minute you go land, and suddenly what you will do is you will look at it, but that's it. Your eyes are open. You will be lost for words. There is only one. That's just a thought on that. So Krishna says, yes, kaschit, look at it like totally in awe. And then other one, then number 5, cha, and number 6, tata eva, 6 and 7. Similarly to anyaha, others, ascharyavat vadati. They also speak about it as if it's in total wonder. And another number 11, cha, here cha is there, and 12, anyaha, Number 13, yenam. Chainam becomes cha yenam. Okay, yenam, then anyaha. So cha, anyaha, yenam, ascharyavat, the ta becomes cha here. Ascharyavat shunoti. And similarly to some others listen to it as if it's in a total wonder. And Arjuna, number 15, cha kaschit, some people, okay, someone, okay, kaschit. Number 17, Shrutva api. Number 17 it is Shrutva api. Even though having heard it for a long time, api, yenam this Atman. Number 10, 20, na veda yeva. They do not really know that 100%. Apadi, Krishna சொல்லிட்டார்ப்பா புரியாதுன்னு இனிமே நாம் கவலைப்பட வேண்டாம். It's not like that. Because this sloka is like that. Krishna says literal meaning, you know, Arjuna, some people, they look at it as if it's totally in a mystical, you know, wonder, as in totally ungraspable vision, you know, pashyati. And some people talk about it as if they have totally mystified, and it is as if they are not able to exactly speak over this, articulated. And some people, when they listen to it also, they listen to it as if and they are lost in thoughts as to how to grasp it, though I have heard it, like what we are doing now. And after the class also, after having heard, when they really want to know what they have known, they do not know that as well. Something like that it is, but it is not that, right? Otherwise Krishna won't be teaching this. Krishna is not a magician. Krishna is not here to show magic to Arjuna. Neither for us to believe that this is all about magic. This is not a magical statement. We are not about magic here. Krishna can do so many magic if he wanted to. Not at this time in Gita, for sure. So here, the main thing, why? So what we have to really look at it is this ascharyam, this adjective. This is so wonderful. Where does it go? To what this adjective goes? Number one, we should not take this wonder or mystical or anything to the Atman. Number one. This ascharyam is not a visheshanam for Atman. Number one. So the only thing what Krishna is really, because we are all Tattva students, we can go a little bit more deep. What Krishna is saying is that if you are trying to objectify it by as if like a normal vision, as if you are trying to speak with it as if you can speak of some other object that you can go and exhibit, or you can talk about it, or if you think you have heard about it like any other knowledge that you have got, it is not any of them. Because even though if you have heard about them so much, like in an objectification matter, it is not the way that you will know, because the speaker is the knowledge, the person who is nearing is the knowledge, and that one having heard, you are the knowledge. You are not anything other than the knowledge. You are the knowledge. Because in the actions of seeing, in the actions of speaking, in the actions of hearing, and in the actions of knowing, the one that is ought to be known is the known. But because you are the knowledge itself, you are the knowledge. So what is really proving here is it is not a mystical thing. He's saying this Atma Jnanam is so spatikam, it is so sakshat. He's not taking it far away. The problem happens only when we take it far away, as if it is to be objectified, or is it is swata siddhaha, swapramanaha. You don't need any other pramana from outside. We go to nasato vidyate bhavaha, because we want that bhava. That is what Krishna is saying here. It is self-revealing. And that yes, it will all, and this sloka can also be taken in another way. Okay, so this is This is the correct, this is one of the correct interpretation for this. That Atman is not a, this Ascharyam is not a Visheshanam or adjective for that, because that is you are the knowledge. And it can be taken another one, that even if say the true seers, because we are in the process of knowing, but if you look at it from a Jnani's perspective, if you look at it from the Jnani's perspective, that only 1 in million or somebody has really seen this. That Kaschit means here Kaschit is a Jnani. The first Kaschit when I was taking all of them is Ajnani or the Mumukshu, like most of us are here as we are knowing to do. Another one you can take it is the Kaschit who is a Jnani. One first Kaschit is Mumukshu like us, all of us. Where Krishna is bringing that knowledge, moksha jnanam, to the mumukshu samipam. He brought it, the first one. The second one is saying, the jnani, for him, you know, that jnani is ascharya. Here ascharya goes to the jnani because they are 1 in billion who are truly the seers. And the ones who have really spoken about it are really the 1 in billion. And the 1 in billion who has really learned, listened to it, and then he has known it. You can also say it. And that 1 in billion, though he has known it, you cannot know his knowledge. You can take it like that too. This is what Swami Dayananda Saraswati, his interpretation in that second one as well, which is also very apt. That's what I wanted to give you. So that is what in this particular fourth shloka, which is very, very important as we have seen. And then Krishna is now concluding with this shloka number 30, that Sankhya Yogam, really the Jnana Yogam. That's what we will finish with today. So Sundar, will continue. Dehi nityamavat yoyam.
Dehi nityamavadyoham. Dehi nityamad yoham.
Nityamavad yoyam.
Nityamad yoham.
Nityamavad yoyam.
Nityamavad yoham.
Yoyam. Once again, Dehi nityamavad yoyam.
Dehi nityamad yoyam.
Nityamavad yoyam.
Nityamavad yoyam.
Dehe sarvasya bharata.
Dehe sarvasya bharata. Dehe sarvasya bharata.
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
Bhutani.
Tatmat sarvani bhutani.
The ta space as ta, it should not go as da. Okay. Bhutani.
Tatmat sarvani bhutani.
Natvam shochitum arhasi.
Natvam shochitum arhasi. Tumarhasi. Natvam shochitum marhasi.
Okay, so here again Krishna finishes with the 30th verse, that there are no way that you should be grieving over. And here Krishna again says in this one, hey Bharata, hey Arjuna, I am number 2. You see that nityam avadyoyam, nityam avadhyaha ayam. Okay, that 672 is nityam avadhyaha ayam. Okay, so Bharata, ayam here means ayam atma. So dehi, here dehi means atma. Now you need to very clearly note this once, for I will ask you in the exam for sure. Here dehi means atman. Okay, you see in shloka number 22. That is where the beauty of the other thing is. You know, Vasamsi Jirnani. Here also you saw Dehi. Here Dehi means Jivatma. Because, so you see the same word in Gita. That's what I'm saying. In the same chapter, one place the word will have a different meaning. Another place will have a different meaning. Here Dehi means the one that is taking birth again and again. Only he sheds the body as a cloth. Atman, he has got no cloth. He doesn't need to be, because this Vasamsi Jirnani is all for the Dehi who is experiencing death and again getting a birth with the new clothes and everything. So here Dehi is a Jivatman, do not forget. So whereas this Dehi here is a absolute one, which is the Atman. That's why I put note between 30 and 22. Okay, so how do we know? Because yes, I am Dehi. I am Dehi. This Dehi, this Atman, I am Atman. Okay, I am Dehi, because he is, though as if, okay, I don't have to go, but then I am Dehi, Atman. Number 4, Sarvasya, Sarvasya of everybody's. Sarvasya Dehe, number 6, Nityam. Nityam, number 7, Avadhyaha. Avadhyaha. So he says, first statement, hey Bharata. Number 2, second, I am Dehi, Sarvasya Dehe, Nityam Avadhyaha. Avadhyaha, so let's take the last meaning, then we'll come to the one. Avadhyaha means what? Vadhyaha means what? You know, we say Vadan, but Narasimha did a Vadan, Vadan of Hiranyakashipu, means kill. That's all. So Avadhyaha means it cannot be killed. And he has also used the adjective called Nityam, eternal. So that same thing as Akledyaha. So Avadhyaha is equal to Akledyaha, Asosya, we thought that one. So then we know, yes, this is I am, is a Atman. So the context of Dehi here means that which is as if he is the supporting platform for the Dehi. Dehe here means that for all this body, all this body, or Dehe. So as if do not encapsulate the Atman and the Dehe, but what he's saying here is that it is a supporting platform for the body. Avadhyaha, he Bharata, Ayam Dehi Sarvasya Dehe, Nityam Avadhyaha. That it is unslainable, but only thing is just put in a different way here. Adhyaha. So he's brought him back to the absolute context. So comprehend from 10 to 30 what we have done. 10, he said, he straight away took him to the absolute context and made his worry gone. Yeah, and then we went straight away into the Atma Tattvam, Nasato Vidya Bhadaka, Vinashita Vidyam, all those things, Najayate, Amriyateva, and then all those things of he is neither the consumer, neither he is the killer, because neither he is an agent. And then he said, even though in this birth, whatever it says, it is like the clothes that the bodies are done or shed and then consumed. And then he again went to Akledya Asosya, giving more adjectives of Atma Jnanam. Then from 25 to 30, here again got into this relative context of saying, even then there is no cause for you to worry. And now he's finishing up in the absolute context. So in the last 30 seconds, I've just capsulated from 10 to 30 for you. But the main thing to understand is the comprehension of that Gita thing, that we keep it intact, keep the chain. So what Krishna says, number 8, Tasmat, that's why for the Tasmat, I have to comprehend all this for you. Tasmat, Sarvani Bhutani, 9 and 10, Tvam, you, Shochitum, to grieve over, to keep on thinking over, ponder over, na arhasi, 13 and 14. Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani, Tvam Shochitum na arhasi, Kimartam Aham Tvam. Well, I have given you all this Atma Jnanam. So in all aspects, from the Paramarthika Drishti or from a Vyavaharika Drishti, as how I have explained to you today, with all the knowledge. So Krishna says, Arjuna, this grief is completely uncalled for. So in this last line, he concludes with that 25 to 30. So that's what, and now he is preparing with that one for through verse number 31 into Karma Yogam from Dharma, which we will see from the next class. Okay. Any doubt in this so far? Nothing? Okay. Om Tat Sat. Sundar, want to chant or let's finish it? Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su. Just chant. Sundar. You're there? Or I have to probably. Okay. Nandini ji, you want to chant? Just Om Tat Sat. Okay. Ganapati Ramanji, you want to chant?
No.
Okay.
Om Tat Sat.
Tat Sat iti Srimad
Om.
Bhagavad Gita Su.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu
Upanishadu Brahma Vidyayam
Brahma Vidyayam
Yoga Shastre
Yoga Shastre
Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade
Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade
Sankhya Yogo Nama
Sankhya Yogo Nama
Ditiyo Dhyayah Shri Krishna
Dhyaya
Arpanamastu.
Krishna Namastu.
Ata Gita.
Then
Gita Mahatmyam Dharauvacha Bhagavan Parameshana Bhaktirabhya Vicharini Prarabdham Bhujyamanasya Katam Bhavati He Prabho Shri Vishnuruvacha Prarabdham Bhujyamano Hi Gita Bhyasarata Sadha Samukta Sasuki Loke Karmanano Palipyate Mahapapadipapani Gita Dhyanam Karoti Chet Kvachit Sparsham Na Kurvanti Nalini Dadamambhuvat Gitaya Pustakam Yatra Pata Pravartate Tatra Sarvani Tirtani Prayagadini Tatra Vai Sarve Devascha Rishayah